their beliefs, to face the test of martyrdom for their beliefs, if all along they actually knew that it was a lie? Friends, for faith to be rational, it simply needs to fall within the sphere of probability. And when I face death, as all of us will, I want to know that my faith is rational, and that faith in Jesus is rational. And when that faith is based on the evidence for Jesus, and in particular based on the evidence for the resurrection, then it is rational. It is a thought-through faith. It's a faith that billions of people have believed in over 2,000 years. Our whole calendar changed around the life and death of this man. We went from BC to AD. You know, I might not be able to prove the existence of God, but God proves his existence himself. He proves himself to us in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Jesus says, ask and you shall receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be answered to you. God proves himself in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, and in the life and power of the Holy Spirit that comes to believers when they believe in him. So please don't be agnostic. Check it out for yourself. The resurrection is the only conclusion that makes sense. Don't write Jesus off if you haven't examined the evidence, because if you do so, it would be irrational faith. Faith based on evidence is logical and rational. So check it out for yourself.
We're running out of time a little bit. We've got 5 minutes each, so you're going to have a quick response, and then we're going to head up to Joe Napolitano for pizza and beer, and maybe a bit of a formal Q&A. So like we'll have seats and we'll have the speakers and stuff like that. So if we just get, for our people who are going to set up the room, a show of hands who wants to go and get pizza and hang around for discussion and stuff like that, nice and high. Awesome. You guys got that? Yep, awesome. Alright, thanks. They're going to go carry the pizza and set up the room. Alright, we'll hand back over to Ian Robinson. We'll have to keep you strictly to about 4 minutes each, if that's alright, to do a quick response, and we'll wrap up at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Daniel's based his case around the evidence for the resurrection. All I'd like to say on that is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and most of the evidence we've got is accounts from people writing many years later, and we know how unreliable eyewitness accounts are. There was a show around in the 50s, a thing called a fruity melodrama, which in this woman gets accused of a crime, and she says, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. And the other character says, she's innocent, she admits it herself. And it seems to be that the evidence that Daniel is evoking is a bit like that. You know, this happened, I admit it myself. Faith, you know, we can't live without trusting some things, but there are degrees of faith. It's not an absolute thing. If you want to jump off the top of the Medley building, it's possible that a huge big flock of birds might grab you and carry you to safety. Or maybe it's absolutely possible there's a freak wind that nobody's ever seen before that might pick you up and take you back to the top. That's possible. But the fact that something is possible doesn't mean we're all going to go off and immediately jump off the top of the Medley building. The fact that it is possible that God exists, I can't prove that God doesn't exist. I just think that most of the evidence points in the opposite direction. The fact that I can't prove it doesn't exist, that it's possible that God exists, doesn't mean it's rational to believe so. What the sort of faith that Daniel started talking about was ordinary, common, everyday faith in things for which we generally have good reasons. But faith in supernatural things is faith that goes beyond the reason, beyond the evidence, and that's where it becomes a problem. There's the story in the Bible after the resurrection where Jesus rises up to heaven, the ascension to heaven. Now he's standing on the top of the mountain near Jerusalem, and he suddenly starts going up to heaven. Now, that was 2,000 years ago. The Milky Way galaxy that the Earth is part of is more than 2,000 light years across. So, if Jesus was travelling at the speed of light, which is the fastest possible speed, he still wouldn't have got to the edge of the Milky Way. So I'd just like to leave you with that image of the speeding Jesus.